Supreme Chancellor Obi-Wan Kenobi by Stone Freak. Chapter 26. Obi-Wan takes a nap. Obi-Wan has had to give up his small desk in the corner of the huge Chancellor rooms. Instead, he has a huge desk in the corner of the rooms. He adamantly refuses to sit with his back to those huge windows, even after he managed to convince the staff to let him set up thick curtains to cover them. It means that there's no natural light in the rooms, but it also means that no sniper has a free shot straight into the rooms. How in the core worlds did Palpatine and all the previous chancellors survive years sitting at that desk? Obi-Wan is certain that if he tried, he'd get shot in the neck by a sniper blaster within a week, especially considering how his time as a chancellor has gone so far. He would have preferred to change rooms entirely and have no one actually know where his real rooms are. Cody would like that idea too. But the Senate got obstinate and absolute refused him the idea. So blackout curtains it is. He feels on edge every moment he spends in his office. The 2 assassination attempts have gotten to him, no matter how much he likes to pretend otherwise. If he worries, then Anakin will worry, and Ahsoka will worry, and just about everyone he knows will worry, and he'd rather not burden them with it. Cody will worry regardless of what Obi-Wan does or says, and has upped the security. Obi-Wan pretends to be annoyed, but at the same time, it feels good not to be alone. He'd much rather be out in the field. Dodging blasters and fighting for his life is preferable to sitting in this stuffy room, working through flimsy after flimsy, datapad after datapad of information. It needs to be done, and it is his job now. But combined with his duties as counselor and general, his eyes sting. Exhaustion seems to have settled in his very bones, and it's a wonder that the text isn't blurred together. He needs sleep soon. But he can't. Some deep meditation will have to do. He's not sure how much longer he can meditate instead of sleep before he crashes, but he needs to keep it together a while longer yet. Legislation 3BKLPT needs to be repealed as quickly as possible. Obi-Wan will have to send it out to a committee with his opinion on the matter. He leans back in his chair with a tired sigh. He's finding more and more legislation that restricts back to production, and he cannot for the life of him understand why. He absolutely agrees with the older legislation that concerned quality and standards, but the newer? It merely works to limit who can produce it and where. Why has Palpatine worked to limit the Bacta supply in the midst of war? There's more of that type of legislation that worries him. A lot deal with limiting the Jedi's capabilities to act, tying them more and more to a Senate that's inefficient. That, too, he believes, has more to do with recent legislation, both the Jedi's ties to the Senate and the Senate's own inefficiency. Oh, it's been going for years, corruption seeping into the Senate. He's found older legislation from Valorum's time, and the man's ability to do anything as Chancellor was absolutely hampered, everything tied up in endless procedure. Legislation that was repealed almost as soon as Palpatine took office. Someone crippled Valorum's power as Chancellor before the Battle of Naboo ever happened. The fact that Valorum had dispatched Jedi to help negotiate, that hadn't been officially sanctioned. It had been a personal request from the Chancellor to the Jedi. Which means that someone, most likely the Sith who's been controlling the Senate, Obi-Wan has become more and more certain that Dooku's words back then weren't actually a lie. Vague enough that he wouldn't out his master, strong enough to sow doubt, but ultimately true, wanted Valorum out of office and Palpatine in. Which means... what does that mean? There are several possibilities. Palpatine is working with the Sith. Palpatine is manipulated by the Sith. Palpatine's own opinions make him an ideal figurehead while the Sith manipulated the rest of the senators. Palpatine is the Sith. Everyone nearly laughs at the last one. Palpatine has never had any noteworthy Force presence, nor shown any understanding of how the Force works. It's a preposterous thought. Leave no stone unturned, Obi-Wan. Consider every angle, Padawan line. Force Qui-Gon would say that, wouldn't he? Obi-Wan can almost hear his voice. Regardless, it is sound advice. However unlikely, it's far better if Obi-Wan keeps all possibilities in mind. He's too tired to sort it out now anyway. Obi-Wan rubs a hand over his eyes and sighs.
Tired you are.
Obi-Wan nearly jumps out of his skin. Yoda sits in the visitor's chair on the opposite side of Obi-Wan's desk, large ears drooping. Master Yoda, when did you... Obi-Wan fills off. He didn't even hear Yoda come in. He must be more tired than he thought.
Sleep you should, Obi-Wan,
Yoda says, staring intently at Obi-Wan, who simply sighs. I know I should, but I can't. He looks away. I lie down in full intent to sleep, but I can't. Thoughts just keep spinning, and I remember more and more things I need to do. He sighs again. I've been meditating, and fine.
Fine? You will not. Sleep, you must.
Yoda whacks his stick down on Obi-Wan's desk, making Obi-Wan jump a bit in his chair.
Large couch, you have. Thick blanket, you have. Nice pillow, I brought. Sleep, you will.
Yoda hops down from the chair and starts making his way over to the almost ridiculously large couch. It certainly is a comfortable couch. It has just never helped Obi-Wan sleep before. Nevertheless, Master Yoda wants him to try. Actually, he wants him to do. There is no try. So he might as well follow the advice for now. He follows Yoda over to the couch and stops by it staring. Yoda actually did bring one of the soft temple pillows, the exact model Obi-Wan favors. What in the world? How did Yoda...
Come to me, your troopers have. Loyal they are. Worried they are.
Ow. If he's starting to worry the troops stationed here and Cody, then he must be pretty bad off. They've certainly seen him in terrible shape before, so for them to go to Master Yoda... Obi-Wan sits down on the couch and removes his boots, setting them off to the side. He's still in most of his clothing, but he's only going to try to take a nap at most. Master Yoda will see how useless it is soon enough. He lies down and drapes the blanket over himself, closing his eyes and deepens his breathing. Breathe slowly and methodical. Empty your mind. Let the Force cradle you in sleep. Of course, Padme was attacked in her sleep right before the start of the war. She lives because she had 2 guardians attuned to the Force just outside. If Obi-Wan just keeps some awareness to the Force around him, he should be fine. He should sense something before it comes too close.
Afraid you are. Unable to fall into true sleep you are.
Master Yoda's voice brings Obi-Wan out of his thoughts. He opens his eyes and looks at the small green master still standing by the side of the couch. Yes, Master. I rarely feel safe outside of the temple walls. And only barely within them. You will not share that thought with Master Yoda, however. Yoda arrives and hops up on the couch, getting himself comfortable in the blanket covering Obi-Wan. Master? This is a rather surprising turn of events.
Sleep! You must. Watch over you, I will.
Oh. Master Yoda reaches out with one small clawed hand and places it on Obi-Wan's forehead. Obi-Wan's mouth twitches into a shadow of a smile, and he closes his eyes, accepting the offered help.
Sleep! You will.
The Force suggestion is mild enough that Obi-Wan could easily throw it off if he wanted to. But he doesn't. He wants to sleep. And if Master Yoda is right, they are watching over him. Obi-Wan falls easily into the mindless oblivion of sleep, the Force cradling him in its warmth. Lived for a long time, has Yoda. See the end of his road yet? He does not. Cover the future. Shadows still do. Hard to see it is. More so than long before. Since Obi-Wan took office, lightened. Some clouds have. A heavy burden it is, resting on Yoda's great-grand Padawan's shoulders. More than one heavy burden there is. The heaviest of burdens, responsible usage of power is. And more power than any other Obi-Wan has now. Looks younger in sleep, Obi-Wan does. Make him seem older. The beard does. Deliberate Yoda knows this is. The usually thoughtful expression, too, ages him, but smoothed out in sleep it is. Hide the youth, even the beard cannot.
Feel safe, he does not. Even at home he is in peril. Need you, he does.
Into the Force, Yoda whispers the words. A flicker in the Force there is, and stray locks of hair brushed away from Obi-Wan's forehead are.
Teach him, I will. Need help, does he?
The actions taken now determine the future, they will. See it, Yoda cannot. but feel it in the Force, he can. The coming months, most important they are.